Welcome to Summit 2015, a world where Atlassian unleashes the potential in every team.
Power on all electronic devices. We're ready for takeoff. Smarter, better, faster, stronger.
CEOs, Mike Cannon-Brooks and Scott Farquhar.
Bonjour, hello, how are you? Come on, tell me what it is, what it do. Oh, cool, so cool, Joe Camel, full panel, more channels. Bonjour, hello, how are you? Come on, tell me what it is, what it do. Oh, cool, so cool, Joe Camel, full panel, more channels.
How awesome was that? When we say our products can be used for everything, that is really a Jira Agile board driving the music. It's an example of a Jira add-on. It's an example of innovation from Atlassian. And Roger, thank you. DJ Kanban will actually be playing live via Jira tonight at the Summit Bash, and I guarantee you it's awesome to watch. You can also download it from the marketplace if you want to do that in your own offices Friday afternoon, away you go. So what a way to say welcome to Summit 2015. We have some truly fantastic stuff to share with you over the next couple of days, and I'm really looking forward to meeting as many of you as I can. This morning I want to start right back at the beginning. And great stories have great beginnings, and that's certainly true for us here at Atlassian. Scott and I started Atlassian more than a decade ago as a team of two, and we've led Atlassian as a team ever since. So if we go back, just have a look at some of those early days, we looked a little different, but we used to do everything. We coded, we did the books, we got the coffee, we wrote all the marketing copy, we even manned the booth at events, as my marketing team has dredged up some photos of us. Now, this is one of our very earliest conference events, manning the booth. You can see the two of us demoing early versions of Jira. Now, sharp-eyed folk may notice that Scott's missing. Any guesses where he is? He's taking the picture, that's right. There was only two of us. Sharp folk in the front here. This is early 2000s, right? No selfie sticks or anything back then. So, which, for me, makes today so amazing, right? If I stand here a decade later and look around, this is larger than any conference we went to back then. It's just a phenomenal experience. So thank you and welcome to Summit 2015. There are more than 2,600 of you today. And that's as many people as we could physically fit into the hotel without upsetting San Francisco's notorious fire marshals because 2 weeks ago we completely sold out. So for those of you who didn't get in next year, you'll have to get in earlier. Watching the live stream, we had a number of people who got the email that said we were going to sell out, and 2 days later tried to buy a ticket and got told we were sold out, and we said, no, seriously, there isn't any more tickets. So if you're in the audience, thank you for being here. If you're on the live stream, I apologize. We'll continue to try to find larger venues. And I should continue the thanks by saying a huge thank you to our awesome sponsors. Without them, we couldn't have put on Summit 2015. Each and every one of them has helped us pull together this conference, and these are companies that have amazing products and services that you can use in your businesses. A huge number of them are just like us a decade ago. One of the amazing things about our community has been watching them grow up alongside us. If you go out to the exhibit hall, you'll see a whole series of two-person teams manning booths, demoing software and applications. I want you to please thank them by visiting their booths, understanding what they do, and help their journey be as amazing as the one that we've been on. And when we started really small, but we had very, very, very big goals. We wanted to make incredible software to empower teams. We wanted to serve our customers really, really well, and we aimed very high. We set a goal of having 50,000 customers, 50,000 different companies around the world using our software, and we set that goal more than a decade ago. To prove that it was a goal, let me show you an old and rather embarrassing video clip from a local Australian news show after a Black Tie Awards dinner at which we won an award, proving that we had this goal. So this is me live from 2005.
So where to from here? If we look at your customers already, you've got the Reserve Bank, you've got NASA, you've got Telstra, you've even got Microsoft on your books. Where to next?
Onward and upward, hopefully. We have about 5,000 customers now in about 64, 65 countries around the world. So we hope to expand the number of countries, and the end goal has always been to get to 50,000 customers. So we're a long way off that. 10% of the way there, if you like.
10% of the way there, but with an excellent start. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us again.
Thank you. It's wonderful to have such a large and thorough department in marketing nowadays. It's much better than when it was just the two of us. I was wrong about one thing, though. It was not the end goal. However, a decade later, we have passed 50,000 enterprise customers. And I wanted to extend a massive thank you to all of you in the audience that have helped us get here. Without your support as customers, we simply wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the amazing team of Atlassians, and we wouldn't be able to make all the products that we have for you. So thank you. That's right. To put this into perspective, we have a very strict definition of what it means to be a customer. We count individual companies as customers. We count very conservatively. You have to buy a commercial license of our applications. You have to have a team of greater than 10. You have to be a single commercial enterprise. When we look underneath that, we have a huge use of our products that's far broader than even these 50,000 customers. We have more than 375,000 other organizations that use our products with less than 10 people, that use our products for free in non-profits and other scenarios. So when we add this all together, it's a massive amount of teams that are using it. In fact, we just passed 5 million active users on a monthly basis of Atlassian applications. That's hundreds of thousands of teams around the world. Thank you. That's hundreds of thousands of teams around the world that we're helping to be a little bit better every single day. And it's very humbling, and it makes us very proud to do this, and we're continuing to make it to get as better as we can with every single release of the software. Explaining some other large milestones for the year, I'd like to bring back my fellow DJ, Scott Farquhar, to tell you a little bit about 2015. Scott.
Bonjour, hello, how are you? Come on, tell me what it is, what it do. Oh, cool, so cool, Joe Camel, Bonjour, hello, how are you? Come on, tell me what it is.
G'day everyone. G'day everyone. Welcome to Summit. We've got an incredible 2 days in store from you. There's some people standing at the back. There are some seats floating around, so if you want to come wander down, there's some front row seats here for you. The fire wardens told me that I needed to do that. We have an incredible summit here in store for you, and Mike shared with you some of the milestones we've reached as Atlassian, and I want to share a few more. He mentioned that we have 50,000 customers, and those 50,000 customers use one of our 3 deployment options. Our traditional server deployment option, our data center option for those of you who want to use our products at scale in your own networks, and our cloud option where you choose to let Atlassian run our products for you. Now, we're committed to all 3 of these deployment options, but I want to talk a little bit today about the cloud because we've made some investments in the cloud over the last year. We've been increasing the security, the performance, the integration of our cloud products. And this improvements has led to increased adoption amongst your organizations. It's not just small companies adopting the cloud anymore. Fortune 500 companies are trialing or adopting our cloud products. And we just recently reached a milestone now. Over 50% of our customers now use an Atlassian product in the cloud. And you're going to continue to see Atlassian invest in making our cloud offerings better for you, our customers, and we expect to see continued adoption there. Another milestone that we've reached this year involves our marketplace. And we have one of the largest enterprise marketplaces in the world. Whether you want document workflows in Confluence, or whether you want time tracking in Jira, or build and release tools inside Bitbucket, we have you covered in the marketplace. In fact, we just this week reached a huge milestone of 2,000 add-ons available in Atlassian Marketplace. That's incredible that there are 2,000 add-ons. And each of these add-ons, many of them represented by our sponsors in the hallway, but each of these add-ons is functionality that you can be taking advantage in your organization. The adoption of these add-ons has been incredible. We now have 50%, half of our Jira and Confluence server customers use an add-on. And I don't know of any other enterprise marketplace in the world that has that level of adoption, where 50% of our customers are using an add-on from the marketplace. Not only using them, you're voting with your wallets. We reached another milestone too. We have $100 million worth of lifetime sales in the marketplace. And that's an incredible achievement, and thank you so much to all the marketplace vendors that make that possible. Now, a huge part of Atlassian's culture is giving back, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that Atlassian's philanthropic foundation does. Now, you may be aware that Atlassian gives away its products free to non-profit and community organizations. And to date, we've given away over 34,000 licenses to those organizations. Now, those organizations also have teams that need to be productive, and by using Atlassian's products, they can have a bigger impact in the world. And so far, we've given away over $69 million worth of licenses free to those organizations, which I think is an incredible impact that we can have helping their teams be more productive. Not only do you give software for free, there are also local and global partners that we work with in a deeper relationship. And 3 of the Bay Area partners we work with are represented here, all 3 of which are involved in changing the poverty cycle by improving education. We help these organizations with our employee time. Our employees get 1% of their time to donate to any interest that they choose, and these organizations are recipients of that employee time, helping them be more productive. Now, our deepest relationship is actually with a San Francisco-based charity, Room to Read. Now, Room to Read's motto is that world change starts with educated children. And Mike and I, when we started the foundation, we really wanted to make an impact on the world. We wanted to change some root cause issues, and we believe that helping children through education, giving them the gift of education, is the biggest gift we can give. And Room to Read, they aim to eradicate illiteracy by building libraries and schools in the developing world to give the gift of education to children that otherwise wouldn't have given it, haven't received it. Let me tell you a single story about just one of the recipients of this gift. This is Kia. Kia grew up in a rural town in Cambodia, and she was raised by her grandparents. She didn't know her parents, and before school in the morning, she has to get up before dawn and work in the fields, tending chooks and her vegetables, and working with her family before she travels 14 kilometers to school. And Kia has incredible pressure on her to drop out of her education and earn money for the family by working in the fields. Now, 5 years ago in 2010, that all changed for Kia. She was the lucky recipient of a grant from Atlassian and Room to Read, and that has allowed her to move closer to her school. It's given her a scholarship that means she no longer has to work in the field. And so she's become an amazing student, and now she is studying to become a rural health worker so that she can go back into the communities and eradicate disease caused by malnutrition and by contaminated water. Now, Kia's story is incredible, but she's just one of the many thousands of children that we've managed to help. And today I want to share what for me was a lifetime goal, was to help a huge number of children get an education. And this year, we managed to reach 250,000 children like Kia who are getting an education because of Atlassian's partnership with Room to Read. If you think about that, that is an entire generation who are lifted out of poverty thanks to Atlassian, Room to Read, and of course, we couldn't do that without you, our customers, who help support us in this endeavour. So thank you very much. Now, all of this philanthropy, giving away things for free, helping Room to Read, and all these charities, that all started with a simple act. The act that Atlassian did 10 years ago when we started our foundation, and that act was pledging 1% of our employee time, 1% of our equity, and 1% of our products to our foundation. And if you think about that, 250,000 children helped, and the impact we've had across the world from just one company, what would the impact be if we could get every company to pledge 1%? And so at the start of this year, in conjunction with Salesforce and Rally, we started the Pledge 1% movement, a movement dedicated to transforming corporate philanthropy. We set an ambitious goal. This year, in the first year of having this movement, we wanted to have 500 companies take the pledge. And how have we done? Well, the response has been absolutely amazing. We've had companies from around the world all stand up and say that they too want to take the pledge. And I'm extremely proud that 2 months early, we reached our goal. We now have 500 companies around the world that have also pledged 1% of their employee time, profit, and their products to their foundation. So that's an incredible impact we're going to have across the world. And I specifically want to thank 10 partners who are here. These are 10 partners in the Atlassian ecosystem who have taken the pledge themselves. And I want to thank you not only for the impact that you are going to have in your pledge and your philanthropic journey, but because Pledge 1% is a movement, and these 10 people are getting the ball rolling, and we're going to continue to see this movement to transform corporate philanthropy. So thank you very much to those in the audience. Now, our philanthropic efforts are just one part of the amazing work environment that we've created at Atlassian. And when Mike and I started Atlassian, we wanted to create a company where our employees can do the best work of their lives. I talk about it, I want to ruin our employees so they can never work at any other company ever again because it's so good working at Atlassian. And we're really proud of the environment we've created, but this year we're also proud that we've been recognized externally for being a great place to work. Now, across all companies under 1,000 employees in the United States, across all those companies, this year Atlassian was placed as the #2 best place to work in the entire United States. And in Australia, across companies of all sizes, big and small, Atlassian was rated as the best place to work for the second year in a row. So that's an incredible accomplishment. And by being a great place to work, that means we attract amazing people from around the world to work at Atlassian, many of whom you'll meet today as our staff are here. And those amazing people build incredible products to help you be more effective with your teams, to help your companies achieve more. And so that's really important for us to create that environment. Now, as you may have guessed, Atlassian has been mission-driven from the very beginning, and our mission is to unleash the potential in every team. We believe that this is an incredibly noble goal because we believe teams are the cornerstone of human accomplishment. It's teams that are going to cure cancer. It's teams that are going to reverse the effects of climate change. It's teams that are going to reduce traffic congestion in San Francisco, hopefully, one day, maybe. And by Atlassian, by enabling these teams to be more productive, we can have an incredible impact on the world. And we've been helping software teams for 10 years now. We've helped software teams conceive, build, launch amazing software products. And you're going to continue to see us innovate in this area. But the incredible success of software teams hasn't gone unnoticed inside your organizations. Other teams are also trying to work out what are you doing right and getting on the act. And one of the first teams to recognize that was IT teams. Now, for more than 10 years, IT teams have used Jira and Confluence to make their teams more productive. And it may surprise you to know that using Confluence for technical documentation is one of the highest use cases of Confluence. And 2 years ago, we produced a purpose-built offering for these service teams when we launched Jira Service Desk. Now, Jira Service Desk is one of the fastest-growing products in Atlassian's history. It's been an amazing success. In its short time in the market, it is already winning industry awards, and we've amassed an incredible 15,000 organizations who are using Jira Service Desk to serve their customers both inside their companies and also serving their customers outside their companies. It's really been an incredible success for Atlassian. But it's not just about software teams or IT teams. Atlassian's products are being adopted by other teams across the organization. Across your companies, HR, finance, legal, marketing, sales, they're all realizing that they too are teams that need to be productive, that Atlassian's tools can help their teams achieve their goals faster. And this momentum, or this movement, I should say, of Atlassian's products across the entire company is gaining momentum. In 2014, 1/3 of our Jira customers were using Jira beyond software and IT teams. And less than a year later, that is now half of our customers using Jira beyond software and IT use cases. And as we continue to build purpose-built offerings for these teams, we expect this momentum to continue, for Atlassian to be used across the entire company. And it's not just your teams inside your organizations that are seeing the power and benefits of using Atlassian's products to collaborate better. The world is sitting up and taking notice. Atlassian isn't just recognized now as a company helping software teams be more productive. We've been recognized as a company that is redefining business collaboration. And that's incredibly big opportunity for you and your companies. There's so much opportunity there, so many opportunities for your teams to be more productive. And for the first time ever, we now have 4 keynotes. We have the best and brightest Atlassian telling you how you can make your software teams more productive, your IT teams more productive, your business teams more productive. And so I really encourage each and every one of you to go all 4 keynotes because we really need your help to unleash the potential in every team around the world. Now, something Mike and I love to do at Summit is listen to your stories. We have over 250 Atlassians here, and our staff are not just here to tell you best practices and share our roadmaps and the exciting things we have in store, but those teams are here to listen to you and hear your stories and to take your feedback back to Atlassian so that we can build better products. And I believe this intense focus on listening to you, our customers, is a competitive advantage and is reflected in the amazing products that we've built. We started this very early, back in 2001, and well before we could afford a graphic designer to work on our website, when Charlie was fat and had a drop shadow. And for some reason, yellow dots were in fashion. Anyway, but back then, we may not be good at a website, but we did have a mission. Our mission was to build a company that listened to customer needs and build a really different type of software company, and it was really important to us. And less than a year later, in 2002, we were one of the first companies, and still one of the only companies, to have a public issue tracker where you, our customers, can give us feedback on our products. You've given us feedback, bug requests, feature requests, improvements, things that we need to do, and that has been incredibly important to the way we build our products. Since we launched it, we have now 160,000 items of feedback that you have given us. Thank you for that. And that's about 1,000 items of feedback a month, and that informs the way we build our products, the priorities that we put on them, and how we can better serve you. Last year, we took it even further. What we wanted to do was not only hear from the people in this room, the administrators, the power users of our products, but we wanted to hear from your end users, the people perhaps not in software teams, in the business users. And so we released in-product feedback forms to actually get feedback from every single user of the product across your organizations, which helps us build better products. Now that has led to an order of magnitude more feedback. We now get 15,000 items per month of feedback, and we use that information to drive all our product decisions. And we slice and dice it. We do word analysis, statistical analysis. We even print it out and make our staff read through it. This is actually a printout from one of our all-hands where we basically printed out a sheet of paper for each staff member to read through. And this is not Photoshop, that's actually the printout where every single piece of paper was a different page of feedback from customers. That's how much feedback we get. And we use that information to drive all our product decisions and roadmaps. And for the rest of this keynote, I'd like to share with you the areas that we've heard that you would like us to improve. There are 5 areas that you have said are really important to you, and I'd like to take you through one by one. The first of these is performance. You've told us that performance is your number one priority across our products. And this year, we've made huge strides in that area. We've completely reorganized Atlassian to focus on performance. We've created dedicated teams. We've assembled the best and brightest from around Atlassian and put dedicated teams on each product to work on performance. We've spent over 60,000 hours of engineering time so far improving the performance of Atlassian's products. We've implemented measuring and monitoring. We measure network time, browser time, server time. All those statistics are analyzed to find the areas that we can improve for you. No stone is left unturned searching for performance improvements. And particularly, we're looking at the geographical impacts of performance. We know that all of you run distributed teams these days, and it's impossible to have our products sitting next to your teams. You have teams around the world. And so we paid particular attention to the impacts of geography on performance. We've reduced the page weight, in some cases by up to half. We've halved the size of Atlassian's pages of our products. We've implemented a content delivery network to push a lot more information closer to your end users. And we've taken a holistic approach. Every single product at Atlassian has a performance team that is working on it. And every single product has had improvements. Now, I don't have time to go through every single product, but let me give some examples this morning of things that we've done. In Jira, the agile boards, particularly at scale, are now twice as fast. So interacting with issues, moving them around, particularly for large instances, has had huge improvements. We focused on the response time of viewing issues. And you can see here that every release has got faster. We're consistently improving the response time of our issues. And now, less than 12 months later, it's twice as fast as it was at the start of the year. That's continual improvement. Confluence has seen similar improvements. This is viewing content in Confluence, really important. You want to navigate quickly. We've improved the response time. It's twice as fast as it was less than a year ago. And it's not just about the average times. We want to make the fast things faster. And if you look at pages that are responding in under a second, we now have 5 times as many pages responding in under a second as we did less than a year ago. In HipChat, it's really important for you to be able to get your phone out on mobile and respond to messages. In Australia, we have the perfect, and by perfect I mean the worst networks in the world. It's a great place for testing network latency because we are a long way from absolutely everywhere. And so, a big bugbear of mine was, the speed at which some of our products responded on mobile. So we made huge strides there, up to 4 times faster than we were. And when we look through all the metrics we've collected, all that measuring and monitoring systems, on average now we're twice as fast as we were less than a year ago. And it's not only our systems that are telling us that. Those feedback systems we have with 15,000 items that are coming in every month, we've now seen a 50% drop in comments relating to performance. So you are telling us that our performance is improving, and the comments we are getting from you are praising that journey. Now, we're not finished yet. We still have a ways to go. This is a constant improvement. We're committed that every release of Atlassian's products is faster than the release before. And so please continue to give us feedback about areas we can improve. And we are trying to dial the performance dial up to 11. The next one I'll touch on is simplicity. Now, you and your teams talk about, well, you and your teams actually have complicated problems. You are really trying to do amazingly ambitious things in your organizations. And you need products that help support that complexity, the things you're trying to do. You tell us that you love the flexibility and extensibility of Atlassian's products because they really support your teams. But what we're also hearing is that you want our products to be simpler and easy to use, particularly for your end users. And that's the challenge for us at Atlassian, to balance the flexibility and extensibility with the simplicity, power and simplicity. And we've taken that on as a challenge at Atlassian. And over the last year, we've had an incredible design journey where we're really rethinking how our products work for our end users. And we don't want to take away any of the power that you have, because you tell us you love that, the flexibility, how you can work with teams. We haven't taken any of that away, but we've arranged it in a way that makes it much more accessible to your end users. I'd like to start by, well, in this section, again, we've done it across all the products, but I want to explain how we've done it for Jira. Jira 7 is the biggest release in Atlassian's history. And even if you read through the release notes and see what we've done, it may not be immediately obvious that one of the key guiding principles was to increase simplicity across the product. So Jira, as I said before, is not just used for technical teams. Jira is now used across your entire organization. And we've created 3 purpose-built offerings for the different teams. A purpose-built offering for your software team, for your service team, and for your business teams. And because we've built purpose-built offerings, we can then simplify the interface for each of those different groups inside your company. One of the approaches we have taken across all of our products is to embed best practices. Now, Atlassian has 13 years of experience helping your teams to be more productive. And you've seen this in Confluence. We've got Confluence blueprints to help you get started. And you'll notice in Jira that we've really taken this to the next level where we have project blueprints. We think that you create more projects than ever before. No longer are you creating 3-year projects with long time frames. Projects come and go. They can be measured in months or weeks. And you need to get up and running fast. And so we've created a simple way for your projects, for you to get started with projects. Now, under the covers, you can still fiddle with all the knobs and dials. You can still, adjust it and customize it the way you want. But for the majority of users, we believe we've baked in best practices for your teams. Another principle we've applied is coalescing and organizing all the information from across the different areas of your business. If you look at Jira, is incredibly powerful. We've got boards, and we have issues, and we have reports, and we have burn down charts, but to date they've all been in different areas of the application. And what the approach we've taken in Jira 7 is to take all the information from across Jira and to consolidate it in projects. And so no longer are you in a project wondering, where's the rapid board for this project, or where do I go to find the issues? That is all there at your fingertips in the left-hand sidebar. Not only is it there, but the information you can see in that sidebar is specific to the team that is working on it. So in Jira, you're interested in backlogs, you're interested in sprints, releases, you want to get working on your issues, you want to go to reports and say, am I ready to release? So we can create a specific interface for software teams. Now, because we've done that, we can then customize it for service teams who have different things that they're focused on. They want to look at queues and customer reports. For business teams, they still want the power and flexibility of Jira, but they want it wrapped up in a simpler interface. And so we can create a simpler interface in Jira Core for your business teams. So by separating things out, we've actually made it simpler and more powerful for each individual team. Now, that's not only in Jira, because we know that you use more than one Atlassian product. We've also taken that concept to our other products as well. So in Confluence, With Spaces, we've assembled everything you need in the left-hand sidebar. And in Bitbucket, when you look at repositories, we put all the things you need at your fingertips in the sidebar. And you're going to see that principle rolled out across all our products. This example is just one of the areas that we're trying to improve simplicity, retain the power, but also have simplicity. And I'd like to now introduce Jürgen, our head of design, to walk you through a few more of the things in the design journey that we're on at Atlassian.
Simplicity on the far side of complexity. Bringing this simplicity to life in a complex world is a key part of our design mission. At Atlassian, our goal is simple: creating effortless and harmonious customer experiences for teams. We want teams to focus on being creative, solving problems, being in the flow without getting hindered by the tools they are using. To do this, our aim is to design simple-to-use products that solve complex problems. That's why we put you, our customers, and your stories first. Creating true simplicity is hard, but this simplicity can be found when we really understand what our customers do in their day-to-day lives. Understanding how you solve your problems, how you get work done, allows us to create truly frictionless experiences. Jira 7's new project centricity and sidebar is what happens when we listen to you, our customers. The new sidebar evolved as we explored how to pull together the right pieces of information to best serve the needs for your teams. Crafting simple and harmonious customer experiences is not something you achieve quickly, nor are you ever really finished. When I joined, there were 52 different styles of drop-down menus. Consistency was a nightmare. Our design journey started 3 years ago with the release of the first version of our design guidelines. These guidelines are the cornerstone of our product experience, and they continue to evolve as we humanize and simplify our products. Our team has grown from only 6 designers 4 years ago to now over 100 designers, writers, researchers, and front-end developers. And when we think about design, it's more than just how something looks. It's about the experience you have using our products. As you can see, you're a key part of this journey. We are taking design seriously. Keep your feedback coming. We are listening.
Put it together for the Atlassian design team. It's truly awesome to get to work with that team on a daily basis, and they are consistently trying to listen and improve all the things in our products. Now I want to move to a different end of the spectrum, and that's talking about scale and our largest customers. 3 years ago at Summit, I was at one of the after-evening functions, and I got cornered by a whole group of Atlassian customers from very large enterprise companies. Harangued, maybe a better word, about how successful our software had been in their businesses. That teams were using it, they were getting great value out of it, and they were passing it to other teams, and it was growing, and it was a really good story, until they told me that they were about to take us out because we just weren't scaling. We had hundreds and hundreds of successful teams, and now it was time to go. And as a founder, this is a bit like, what? We've done so well, we're providing value to all of your teams, and now you're going to take us out. But it was quite simple. They were telling us our interactions with their companies weren't working. We weren't having the right sort of conversations. We needed to improve our DNA as a company to deal with our largest customers. Took a little while to get my head around as a founder. Took a little while for us as a company to get our heads around. But we've been listening really hard over the last 3 years. We started with data, as we often do. Of our 50,000 customers, more than 5,000 have over 1,000 employees. We have more than 79 of the Fortune 100 as customers. And over the last 2 years, we've worked really hard to change our business, our interaction, and our company's DNA to better help all of those organizations and the challenges that they have of operating our software at scale, whilst at the same time not changing our core DNA of the products that made us successful in the first place. You've seen us launch a series of enterprise services. Our Premier Support offering provides a higher level of support engagement with dedicated contacts, senior support engineers who learn and respond to your particular environment. Our technical account managers are like internal Atlassian concierges for our largest customers. They help you get the most out of our tools whilst taking your stories and your needs and bringing them inside Atlassian so that our teams understand. And beyond both of these, we've continued to improve our enterprise partnership program. We now have more than 50 certified enterprise partners in over 20 different countries who can deliver comprehensive service and support offerings for those customers operating our offerings at the largest of scales. But it's not just about services. We've also worked on the products themselves. Our data center offerings are designed to work at high availability, to give you performance at scale for the largest teams, and to provide instant scalability when you have that growth success dilemma that we've run into in the past. We have that for Jira, for Confluence, and for Bitbucket. What have we done in the last year to continue to improve our enterprise programs for those largest customers? Firstly, we've shipped Jira Service Desk Data Center with the launch of Jira 7 a couple of weeks ago. Now, for some companies that have very large IT organizations, they need to provide mission-critical service. Data Center helps with that. For others who are deploying Service Desk to all manner of teams across their whole organization, Jira Service Desk helps with that too. In both cases, Jira Service Desk Data Center gives them the high availability and performance at scale that they need. We've tested this with thousands of agents, hundreds of thousands of tickets coming in across hundreds of different service desks. It's about providing the performance that you need for all of the service teams inside your organization. We've also focused on the things that are stopping data center adoption. And the number one thing that you tell us stops data center adoption in teams that need it, in companies that need it, is add-on compatibility. We've been working really hard with the support of our great vendor community to make that not a problem for your data center adoption. As of today, 88%, 23 out of the top 25 Confluence add-ons are now data center compatible. The final 3 are all in development as we speak. And on the Jira side of the equation, we're at 24 out of 25. 96% of the best add-ons in our community that you've used the most are now data center compatible. And the final one is in beta testing here at Summit. So we hope to be 25 out of 25 very shortly. So you can roll out data center and have all the extensibility and flexibility that you're used to and that you expect from us. Thirdly, we've continued to work on performance at scale. As Scott talked about, we're working on performance in a whole lot of different areas of the business. But particularly, we're also working on making sure that our largest customers don't get lost when we average performance across all the customers that we have. We're more than 30% faster for running Jira at large scale than we were 12 months ago. And specific operations, creating issues 3 times faster, selecting projects more than 10 times faster, moving around in agile boards with massive numbers of issues 5 times faster. So we're continuing to work not just on performance for every single customer, but also those that have particular needs, such as millions and millions of issues. If we look at a single customer there, let's talk about Autodesk. They're a leader in 3D design and engineering software. They use Jira and Confluence Data Center to handle their world-class R&D organization. That has more than 2,000 engineers running in 100 different teams, building 100 different products in 30 different countries. This is the exact type of customer for whom Data Center was built. And if you hear from Claudio, when he upgraded to Data Center, he's seen the recent performance advantages to be, quote, incredible. This is exactly the sort of customer feedback that we love to listen to and that we channel back to our teams to say, guys, over the last 2 years, we've worked really hard and it's making a difference to the people who are using it. If you're interested, Claudio is actually presenting later today on scaling what is one of the largest Jira instances in the world, well north of 1 million issues. And I encourage you, if you're operating Jira at scale, to go along to his presentation and hear more about how they're using Jira Data Center at Autodesk. And lastly, it's not just about issues and project management, it's also about code. With Bitbucket Data Center, we were the first in the world to provide active Git clustering to give you the high availability and the instant scalability that you need for a large-scale R&D organization like Autodesk. We're taking that one step further in the very next release of Bitbucket Data Center with a feature we're calling Smart Mirroring. One of the advantages of Git is its ability to create branches and everything instantly, but that means you check out the entire repository. This can present huge problems for geographically distributed teams, where they're sending gigabytes of data constantly around the world, and it makes it very, very slow. You lose your engineers to maybe doing other things. They go off and read Reddit, or they're reading Hacker News, they're just waiting around. This is not what you want as managers. And as engineers, they want to be writing code, and they're not doing that. They're sitting and waiting for a clone to happen on the far side of the world. Smart mirroring prevents this. It allows you to provide geographic caches at different points around the world, but they're smart caches because they're all synchronized with each other and with the central server. So writes are always synchronized across all of the different smart mirrors, but at the same time, reads are almost local and instant. In our own performance test inside Atlassian, with a 5 gigabyte repository, we're more than 25 times faster to clone locally in Sydney. It doesn't need to come from the US data center, it comes from Sydney, but writes happen with almost the same speed. This is a huge advantage, and you can run as many mirrors as you want with Bitbucket Data Center to put them in all of the different engineering teams that you have. So that's an example of a series of things we're continuing to do to invest in our largest customers and make sure that we don't have that success disaster that we had 3 years ago. And we'd love to continue to hear from you about how we can keep improving there. I want to move forward to talking about mobile. It's probably no surprise to you that mobile is really important. I'm told there's more than 2.1 billion smartphone subscriptions in the world. We now carry the most powerful computers in the world in our pockets at almost all times, and that gives us great abilities to stay connected with our teams. Nowadays, this is the reality for most of us. Work gets done pretty much everywhere. Between meetings, when we're walking along the street, commuting, traveling, sitting in a cafe, we have all manner of devices to get work done. And modern teams are not only mobile, they're also distributed. But software can start filling all of the gaps in there to help you unblock your teams and keep them moving. And we've heard from you that mobile is important. 3 years ago, it was the 25th category of things that you told us we needed to improve. Last year, it jumped up to 9th. And earlier this year, it had jumped up to 4th. So we're listening, and we're building out a really big mobile team to solve all of these problems for you. Now, we're a long-term thinking company. We tend to think about all sorts of journeys that we have to go on to improve, to deal with all of the problems that are coming up. We've talked about a number of these journeys. You would have heard us if you were at Summit 5 years ago talking about design and starting the Atlassian design team. And you've just seen the video of the amazing things that we're doing in that team now. The cloud 3 years ago. Enterprise we started 2 years ago with the launch of our very first enterprise service and premier support. And mobile started this year in anger, in detail. It's the youngest of our 4 in-flight large programs at Atlassian, but at the same time, you can see that we have a commitment to following these things through over the years. We began making deeper investments in mobile, and the Atlassian mobile team focused on a product that probably has the widest surface area to cover, and that's HipChat. As a team communication platform, HipChat has to be available everywhere that you want communication to happen, all the time and on all the devices. The more we remain connected, the faster we can get back to our teams and unblock them to continue to do the work that they're doing. I'm incredibly proud of the progress the HipChat mobile team has made over the past year. We've completely refreshed the iOS and Android applications, and as Scott mentioned, they're now significantly faster to open the app, to connect, and to send messages, the critical operations that you want to do in HipChat. We've also launched on other devices. A year ago at Summit, we told you we were going to launch on the day Apple Watch launched. We hit that. We hit it with innovative interfaces, so if you're walking along and someone says you're coming to this meeting, you can just tap and say, I'll be there. Just give them a thumbs up. Quick communication from the devices that you use. At the same time, we're now available on Android Wear, and we've rewritten both of our tablet applications for Android tablet and for iPad. Indeed, working with iOS 9, so you can now use slide over and things. So you can have multiple applications running with chat on one side, and you can have your web browser or whatever other tools you're using on the other side. All of them completely refreshed in the last year. And the Atlassian mobile team is now turning their attention to 2 other products that you may have heard of and you probably use on a regular basis. Now, the use cases for these products on mobile differ quite significantly from those of HipChat. But at the same time, there are some things we can use in common, and there's a lot of different connected experiences that we can build across these. We've been hard at work on mobile products for both of these, mobile applications for both of these products. We've really just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible, but I'm excited for what we've produced. I'm going to leave it to other people to show you what's happening in Jira Mobile. I'm going to dive a little bit into Confluence Mobile. Now, we started trying to build the best iOS experience for Confluence. We started with a brand new stream that lets you find the content that's really relevant to you, and at the same time filter that stream down to only spaces and things that you need. And it's a very, very smart stream showing only the things that you would need to see when you're on the go. At the same time, we've worked on connecting with email and HipChat. So HipChat and Confluence Mobile have a beautiful interaction. You can just jump back and forth between the two. No need to go to a web browser, and you can browse all of your Confluence content as you'd expect. And we've worked with all of the basic and fundamental iOS application technologies. So here you can see that you can reply to a comment without needing to switch into the Confluence mobile application. Again, if you want to unblock them team, tell them they're good to go, move forward, they can do that all from inside Confluence for iOS. But beyond the basics of Confluence, we've tried to rethink about what you want from a connected experience using Confluence across multiple devices. So for example, you might be viewing a page on your desktop, reviewing some meeting notes, and you realize you're running late for a bus and you have to go. Now you have a connected experience. When you get on the bus and you open your phone, you refresh that stream, you'll see the page you were just reading pop straight to the top. So you can instantly continue to read when you're on your mobile device. Vice versa, this works in the rest of the loop. When you view a page on mobile, it'll tell you exactly how long it's going to take to read. Maybe it takes 15 minutes to read. You think, I don't have that much time on the bus to work the following morning. You can tap to flag it as read later, and when you open up Confluence on your desktop, the page will be presented right at the top so you can get going on that. And these are examples of the connected experiences that we're trying to build across mobile applications and desktop applications. You can sign up as a special preview to those in the audience. I suppose if you're on the live stream, you can maybe sign up as well. Atlassian.com/mobile, you can sign up to the betas of both of these applications. We look forward to your feedback and continuing to improve them for all the experiences that your teams need across different devices and locations. And now to move from mobile and connected experiences to a different type of connected experience, and that's talking about integrations, about combining our applications with other people's applications. You have a lot of different apps that your teams have to use on a daily basis. Your products no longer live in isolation, and in a cloud world, interconnectedness becomes even more important. And that includes our products working better with each other, but also our products working with all the other teams, all the other products that your teams have to use. And this is something that we've been working really hard on for a number of years. You've seen us doing this in our development products. We've continued to build cohesive experiences that work across different products. You've seen how from Jira you can now create a branch in Bitbucket seamlessly and get going on work. You've seen how from Bitbucket you can check out code in SourceTree. How from Bitbucket you can also see results of a build inside a pull request. And how from inside an Agile board you can create retrospective notes and sprint pages inside of Confluence. We've made these all connected experiences across our applications. This year we have a new great example of this in the Release Hub that's shipping with Jira 7. It shows the power of Jira 7 being an interface where releases are really first class, very simple for you to find, and at the same time it answers a series of questions across multiple applications. Are you ready to release code? Are you about to ship unreviewed code? Are all the builds passing that you need to ship? You can take dozens of people across multiple applications to answer these questions. With Release Hub, you can now do it in a single glance inside of Jira. So let's have two quick looks at how that happens. Inside the release, I can quickly see that I've got warnings from inside the Jira 7 interface. And those warnings haven't come from Jira or issues. In this case, they've come that I have unresolved pull requests. I have code that I think I'm going to ship because the issues are done, but at the same time, the code hasn't been merged in. This is a problem. This is where software gets into trouble. So now, within Jira, I can see that's a problem and I can go and solve it. Once I've solved that problem and I've got no warnings, I can go and release code. But rather than marking the release in Jira, I can actually now integrate Bamboo into the Jira interface with Jira 7. I can trigger a build, that will go and deploy my software, but I can also see live the status of the build and the deployment inside of Jira 7. And once that build is completed, it will also mark the Jira release as released, and those issues move on to being done. So I've moved across 3 different applications to create a successful release, all with a couple of clicks and all from inside Jira 7. This is a great example of the type of seamless experiences that we're trying to build across Jira and all of our other products. But we want to take these seamless experiences and we want them to work in products outside of ours as well. We know that you operate with tens and hundreds of different tools on your teams. And that's why we've built Atlassian Connect. We shipped Connect a year ago with Jira and Confluence, and earlier this year at Alice Camp, we shipped Connect for Bitbucket. Now, as a simple example of how Connect works, it allows you to write add-ons in whatever language you want and run them on your own servers, and at the same time build these seamlessly integrated experiences. If we have a look at a screen inside of Bitbucket, you can see that inside that screen, I get code analysis happening from BitHound, but I do it inside the Bitbucket interface. And I can then move into BitHound, and then I can move back into Bitbucket, trying to build seamless experiences across our products and other people's. That's what Connect is about. And today, we're adding to the Connect family with the launch of HipChat Connect. Now, HipChat Connect is one of the most exciting things that we've worked on in recent times. And why is that? Well, a HipChat room is fundamentally where your team lives. Integrations allow you to bring data and other applications into those conversations that you're having in the team, into the room. But it can create problems. It can be very noisy to have integrations pumping in lots and lots of information on a constant basis. It distracts from the conversations you're trying to have. And at the same time, it can create a context-switching nightmare, where you're constantly moving from HipChat to another application to get work done, and then back, and losing track of the conversations that are happening. Especially in critical incidents and when time is important, that can be problematic. So let me give you some examples of how HipChat Connect works to solve some of these problems. Firstly, inside the conversations, you often want to discuss not just text, but also objects. So we've created a way to bring in objects to conversations and give you smart previews of those objects so you can have the conversations you need to have without context switching necessarily to go and look at those objects. So news articles are an obvious example of this. But there's a lot of other objects you probably talk about, such as issues. Mention a Jira issue, you'll now get a rich preview of the issue inside the conversation, which allows people to continue to go, hey, I didn't know that was a high priority issue, we should talk about that. They don't even need to go to Jira to find that out. Discussing objects is one thing, but you often want to take action on those objects as well. So let's have a look at a different example inside a software team of how I might take action on the objects that exist from inside HipChat and do it without losing my context. So let's just say that the build is failing when it comes up. I get a notification in the room. There we go. I get a notification in the room that tells me the build has failed. I get a card, and you'll notice with this particular card, I can expand it to get more information. So we've given you a summary, and you can get more inside the conversation if you need it. At the same time, I might have missed this card. I might have been out to lunch. Conversation might have scrolled past, and then I'm in trouble. If that build has failed and it's critical, I'm in trouble. So what we've built is a series of glances now in the sidebar. So when I get back from lunch, I can easily see, oh, there's a one failing build. I should go and have a look at that. I can also take action on that. It's not just about notifications. I can see which build is failing. I know in this case it happens to be a particularly flaky build, so I'm going to do what bad engineers like myself do and just kick it off again and see what happens. Surprisingly, it's gone green. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And we then notify the team that everything is good. And that's important too, that we've closed the loop. Not only have I taken action inside of HipChat without losing context of the conversation, but I've also closed the loop. Other people who come to their client will then see, A, there's no failing builds in the glances, or B, they can see the notification and notice that everything is green. And this works far beyond software teams as well. Let's look at engaging customers in a marketing team. Often you want to integrate social media like Twitter into a chat room. It's a very natural thing that people want to do. It's one of our most popular integrations. The problem is tweets can be really noisy. You can end up with a room that's just a wall of tweets going past, and that's not actually very useful. So what we've done is tried to put things like that into the sidebar as well. So here you see I can see a series of mentions of my product in the sidebar. It'll tell me I've got 60, I can drill in and get more detail. What's important here is when I've got that detail, I find individual examples that I as a human want to converse about. And I can take those and I can drag them into the chat to have a conversation. So I can take objects out of those streams and I can choose to pull them into the conversation, which can then trigger my team to have a discussion about it. Things are going well, things aren't going well. The point is I can pull it into my conversation and get the team to notify it. And we've talked a lot about customer feedback and how we listen to you. Similarly, we've built an add-on that brings your NPS right into our product teams. So when you give us feedback, we can see it right inside HipChat. The marketing team, the product team, the engineering team can see it. And again, particular items can be dragged into the conversation and then the conversation can proceed from there. It's an incredibly powerful framework that we've built. It's a system of connected parts. I wanted to take you through a single worked example to show you how HipChat Connect can let you use all of these building blocks to put together to build really powerful integrations with your own applications inside your own organizations. We start with what we call input actions. Input actions allow you to create objects or start workflows directly from within HipChat, where you're sitting there ready typing at all times. The point with these input actions and with all the add-ons is that they're room specific. So if you have a marketing team room, this might say create a tweet. If it's an engineering team room, it might say create an issue. It will only get the actions, the simplicity that Scott talked about, that your team needs. Those actions can then start some sort of a workflow. In this case, I'm going to create a poll for my team. I can get dialogues and things inside the interface to build rich interfaces. And then those dialogues and interfaces, again, communicate back to the team with a series of different cards. Cards are very flexible. They can show images, they can show videos, and they can show data. You can get a lot of metadata in there with different types of fields, as you've seen with issues, with polls, with builds. And these cards, of course, they can have their own actions as well. So you can build a series of connected building blocks to build the integrations that make sense for your particular teams. In this case, what would I want to do on a poll? Well, it's a very complicated poll, so I can vote yes or I can vote no. And those votes, they make a difference. I can do that inside the application. Maybe that's done. Maybe I'm done. That's all I do is I vote. But here, I can vote, and then I can get more information as well. And that's where we get into the sidebar and the glances. And we've worked really hard on the way that the glances and the sidebar work with the main chat stream, to be able to drag objects in, to be able to jump back and forth, to have the both sides synchronized at all times. Now, this poll application, again, is running in a different server, but we've brought it in to a single and seamless experience. And the point about glances is not that you can just drill into a lot more detail inside of HipChat, but it's that you can see all of the things that are relevant to your team and only to your team in the interface at all times, in the most popular product that you have open on your desktop at all times during the day. So here I can see I've got a poll, but if I'm an engineering team, I want to quickly scan across and see that I've got 4 open pull requests, unmerged. I have no failing builds and no open alerts in New Relic at the moment, 2 current incidents going on with status page, and 30 different Twitter mentions. Each team will have a different set of things here that they can add and remove from internal applications or from pre-built add-ons that we have in our library. So that's an example of HipChat Connect, this system of tools that we've put together to build really, really rich, powerful integrations and seamless experiences across HipChat and all the other applications that your team has to use. I want to show you a quick video of all of the different vendors that we've been working with who've built some of these amazing add-ons that you've seen today.
HipChat Connect is one of the most powerful APIs we've ever seen in the space.
I'm not sure that I personally have seen anything this rich in a chat application that we can pass our incidents to people.
Now we can actually present the entire incident with the context of each update as it's happening.
What HipChat Connect can allow you to do is not have to actually context switch.
Your teams can not only discover things in HipChat, they can also agree on next steps and take action right from within the HipChat user interface.
So the biggest thing really is the way that we can add to the HipChat client itself. We were able to think about our users first and build the best experience that we could in their platform.
The possibilities of collaboration are going to be endless now.
We're basically now opening HipChat to the world and telling developers, HipChat is yours, make it what you want.
Keep it going for all of these amazing vendors that we've worked with, please. It's fabulous to launch great new frameworks. It's even better to be able to work up front with a series of really responsive and awesome partners who've been helping us build out the system, helping tell us what parts they needed to make it work for their applications, and at the same time who've shipped a whole series of add-ons on day one available today to do things for your software teams, to do things for your IT teams in terms of chat ops, and to do things for all of your business teams in terms of calendaring and polls and meetings and all sorts of interesting things. So that's HipChat Connect. It's the newest member in the Connect family to build seamless experiences across all of your different applications. And speaking of Connect partners, a year ago we had 50 different add-ons available for our cloud products. Today, that number is now north of 300. So we're really making sure that for the cloud customers and for people building these connected experiences, we have a rich library of add-ons available to you, as well as having amazing frameworks to build your own integrations. So thank you to all of those vendors, and please support them. A lot of them are out there in the marketplace today. So I hope you've seen a little bit of an example today of the ways that we're trying to listen to you. We're trying to spend a lot of time in our company making sure that we're hearing what you're saying, even when, like myself with Scale, we didn't understand it the first time we were told it. We're committed to listening and improving in each of these areas. We've done a lot this year. We're going to keep doing a lot next year in each of these areas and new areas as we hear what you need from us. And it's a great example, as Scott mentioned earlier, of all of the different types of teams that we're trying to empower at the moment. Our software teams and IT teams, but also the newest teams in the Atlassian family in finance, HR, marketing, etc. And that's, again, why we have a whole number of different keynotes. Today you've heard from us at a bit of a high level around the large-scale DNA changes and improvements we're trying to make in the organization. So this afternoon, you'll hear in much more detail about software teams, how each of these pieces work together for software teams. Tomorrow, for IT teams, and then for business teams. So I'd encourage you to attend each of these keynotes. We've put a lot of effort into each one and making sure that we don't just have one founder keynote, we have a team of people bringing a team of keynotes. At the same time, there's one particular session I want to call out, which is Ship It Live. It's our closing session for Atlassian Summit, and for those who haven't been, it's always a lot of fun. We've got some special things going on this year, besides bringing over some of the best Atlassian Ship It projects to demonstrate and show you some of the crazy things we're working on. We also have a number of customers that are presenting this year from Ship Its that they've done inside their own organizations, so that should be a lot of fun. And we have a special service that's graduated from one of our Ship It projects that we're going to be giving a technical preview at the end. I encourage you not to miss that. It's going to be a great way to close out the conference. So I want to leave you with a small reminder and tell you an anecdote about how we think as founders. Our mission as a company is to unleash the potential of every team. And we're often asked why it is that we spend so much time focusing on teams. Well, quite simply, as a founder, and I know Scott believes the same thing, we think that society spends far too much time focused on individuals. We celebrate the achievements of individuals far too much. And individuals are amazing. Creative geniuses that got things started, got things rolling. We should give them the praise that they deserve. But at the same time, they almost inevitably have a huge team behind them who's actually getting the work done. If I show you a photo of Walt Disney, you instantly conjure up all sorts of images about what Walt Disney did. What you probably don't know is that he had a team of 9 amazing animators working with him on that very first Walt Disney film that created all of the magic that we see today. At the same time, from my favorite sport, you may know this basketball player, Michael Jordan. World's best basketball player maybe of all time. Won 6 different championships. See? No, he didn't. His team helped him win 6 different championships. As amazing as he was, he couldn't have won 6 championships by himself. And you may know this guy. He's built some of the tools that we use every single day. Built the original Macintosh, of course, built the iPhone. Again, no, he didn't. Hundreds of engineers worked on the Macintosh, and more than 1,000 engineers made the iPhone come to life. As Atlassian, we want to spend time not celebrating the individual, but celebrating the team behind the individual that got the work done. That is our company mission, and that was what we get up every day to do. At the same time, it makes it a little awkward for Scott and I to be up here as just 2 people. Kind of a tiny team, but we now have this amazing team of more than 1,500 people across the world. The engineers, product managers, designers that bring you the products you use every day, the writers that write the technical documentation, the service staff that answer your calls, support staff that answer your queries, the amazing events team that's put on this event. So I'd like to close out by wishing you a very, very happy summit, and at the same time, if you wouldn't mind putting your hands together and going more nuts than you have for anything else, for my team of 1,500 people who've made all this happen. And I hope you enjoy Summit. Thank you very much.